That's a thriller. I mean, you've got that tough second, and then
Yeah, it's there's a lot of teaching moments, and it's nice to come out on top. It's an ugly inning, it's a tough inning, but those are not easy plays. Now, should we make the play, and we work on it every Thursday? I love fly ball communication. Um, we'd have had 4 long laps if this was a practice, because every time the ball drops that should be caught is a long lap. And good teaching points. We'll talk about them. Other guys probably could have stepped up and made those catches a little easier. They're just tough plays, and unfortunately, we came out on the wrong end of it. But give our pitching a lot of credit for Patrick to keep his composure and put up zeros, get us through 5 innings. So now you don't have to take the whole life of the bullpen in the first game of a series. TJ puts up the zeros, and then cuts has been cuts. And like the Texas game, it's a good feeling in the dugout when you got Tucker Biven, because I felt like we were about to go to him if this game were to stretch into extra innings. Like, man, we could flip the ball to Tucker and we'll play all night, if we have to. But really, really pleased with the comeback, and it's a win that you can build off of.
it's something about Patrick we saw, in your first game of the year when he gave up the home run. Didn't seem to bother him. I mean, even with the 6 runs today in the second, he just seemed to still dig in and ended up with 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, it says a lot about his demeanor. And as we've talked about, he hasn't had 2 full years of being a starting pitcher in college baseball. He was a position player as a freshman, and last year was just a shortened year, and it was a tough year. And so I've been looking forward to him getting a full year under his belt, going through the highs and the lows, letting him just learn and grow. You don't have to be this, that, or the other. Just be Patrick Forbes and compete. And it's just fun seeing him compete, and he'll learn from this. He'll grow. But I give our pitching staff a lot of credit, because they've done some really good things to this point in the face of adversity. And to me, that's pitching. Like, if the stars are going to line up for you to have success, you're not going to have success a whole lot, right? We say it. And who can pitch when things are going a little sideways and things are off the tracks, and who could get us back on the tracks? And Patrick and TJ and Cutts did it tonight.
It's got to be just about as good as TJ's been on the mound since he's been here. Especially those first 2 innings were really, really good. Can you just talk about the trust and the faith that you have in him and his development in the time that he's been here so far?
It's a talented kid, but I think what TJ's strength is his work ethic. It's just he works extremely hard. He's a tough, competitive, one of our many Chicago kids, and so you just feel like he's going to have success. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but the game's going to reward him because he just works so hard. Combine that with his talent and his competitiveness. And that's another quality arm. And I told those young guys, we had some young guys down in that bullpen that were getting ready to run out here for their first outing of the year. And knowing the wind's blowing out, knowing you're one crooked number away from being back in it, we felt like we were going to flip the ball to some younger guys and let them get us to the later innings, and TJ did.
I think it was through 6 innings. I think you guys were 1 through 11 with guys on base, and then things kind of opened up in the 7th.
That would have been the most frustrating thing offensively tonight, would have been we call it 1 extra at bat an inning. Like, those innings that you talked about, like, just one more guy needs to give us one more quality at bat. And it's not a video game, so I know it's not that easy, but it's that mindset. Like, you're not that far away between a 0 and a 3 or 4. You're not that far. And lots of times it's one more quality at bat. And so you just want guys to obviously not get too high, but this is one of those games, don't get too low, and I love Alex, because he was 0 for on the day and gets a hit in his last at bat. And the players know I kind of always challenge them. Like, there are guys that they can get a hit late in the game if they've got a couple hits during the game, but there are several guys that can't get a hit late in the game if they're 0 for, because they're living in the past. And so we kind of challenged them and addressed them, and I was really confident. And that, and I didn't pinch hit or play some other guys, even though I always kind of wish I'd have got some other guys in, but I just felt like this group was even keel, and they were having good at bats, and they were so close that I just wanted to let them take us to the finish line, and obviously they did.
When you've got two big at bats, and you got a freshman going up there and take Davis, and he comes through, how valuable is that for his progress as a player here?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
He obviously had a really good fall, and you saw the first couple games in Texas where but just he's a freshman, and just like Patrick, let these guys kind of go at their own pace, and the players know how talented Tage is, and what's impressive. And in college baseball, this is emotional. These guys are playing for each other, and there's pressure and there's excitement, and he's like playing like a summer league game, like in a good way. Like he's just having fun, and he's trusting his ability. He's very coachable, and to come up with huge at bats today, right, with the 2-out hit to get us to within a run, and then of course the walk off. And as I told Sean on the radio, why I didn't pinch hit a couple guys was how well he was pitching to our lefties, Klein and Pike, and I just thought, man, he's throwing that gyro slider, they call it, and I was like, oh man. So Tague's at bat to me is even just as impressive, because I thought that guy had thrown some really good pitches to our good left-handed hitters. But I like his freeness and looseness, and just play the game, man. You can learn a lot from him. Just play the game and have fun.
The way this team, whether it was the first game of the year or today, doesn't seem to be phased when it falls behind. What is the key to that sort of makeup, do you think?
Oh, I mean, it's I think it starts, with your preparation, starts with your work ethic, starts with a lot of trust. I think we've done a great job on the body. We always try to work on the mind, and there's got to be a toughness to it, so I think it's a nice combination of really good kids that work hard, and respect the game was the sign in the dugout today, and so this can happen in college baseball. So a bad inning can happen. What are you going to do about it? And don't carry those innings with you. Just, hey man, flush it and be where your feet are is what we say a lot, and be present, and they showed that. So it's a long way to go, and as I've said, we'll be in some waves, and we'll deal with some tough times and struggles. But we've had opportunities to go either way 2 or 3 times already this year, and to come out on top, man, I tip my hat to them, and that's by their preparation and belief and their production.
That's great.